time for the G2G Protein Bar Play or Team of the Weekend. Did your favorite player make an incredible play or your team had a big upset? They probably know all about G2G Protein Bars, a refrigerated protein bar with unmatched taste, grab, and go goodness. G2G Protein Bars are now available at Costco.
This ball's coming out. There's your speed depth. There he goes. Oh, there he goes. It's already a new season.
Yeah, that was Treyveon Henderson in his 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown for New England. That was thanks to the NFL Network. So that was a game changer, of course. All right. It's our G2G Protein Bar Game Changers from the weekend. And I will get us started as the D-backs made franchise history yesterday. They ripped off 9 straight hits, all with 2 outs in the 5th inning. They win 13-6 over the Rockies. The Raleigh scored 8 runs, breaking the previous mark of 7 consecutive hits in a game. Here's how it all went down, the history in the 5th inning.
Gurriel rips it into left center. Lourdes takes a big turn, and he will stop at first, a 2-out single. Again off the bat of Del. He has been on everything today. Bounces one to Karros, who knocks it down at third. He's got no play, and everybody's safe. Alec rolls over to first. Bernabel tackles it, gets up, it throws, and it gets away. Gurriel's home, and it's 5-3. McCann squirts one through. ADC is home. Here comes Locklear. He will score. And Alex in at third. A little blooper. And it drops in for a hit. Alec Thomas is home. It's 8-3. Base hit. Amador knocks it down. McCann scores. Blaze into third. And they bat it around in the 5th. Marte down the line. That's in the corner, and here we go. Blaze is home. Corbin flying into third. Here he comes. He is third. Perdomo with another one. Here comes Cattell. It goes on and on and on. Nine straight 2-out Diamondback hits, 9 in a row.
Steve Berthume and MLB TV with the call. How much fun is that as a broadcaster to call that, Jimmy?
I would have liked that. That would have been that's a good time.
A lot of fun. So there's my G2G Protein Bar Game Changer of the weekend.
Well, my G2G Protein Bar Game Changer of the weekend also goes back to Chase Field as Adrian Del Castillo got it started off with a bang.
Swung on. That's a high, deep drive towards right. It's on its way, and it is gone. There's your production. A 3-run homer here in the bottom of the first. It's his first of the season, and another strong start here for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, the 3-run homer in the first inning set the tone for the D-backs for the 13-6 win over the Rockies and get the sweep. Del Castillo was 3 for 5 with a home run, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. So that is my G2G Protein Bar Game Changer of the day.
Everybody loves playing the Colorado Rockies, rightfully so. All right, here we go. I go back to football for my G2G Protein Bar Game Changer. It's in Jacksonville.
They drilled the ball.
Holy smokes. They got a shot.
He just kicked a 70-yard
field
goal.
goal.
Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
I've never seen that. The NFL record. That would be an NFL record.
The first half. Holy smokes.
That's unbelievable.
I wish I could have called that one because I would have probably said exactly the same thing. 70-yard field goal. Cam Little with the field goal. It does not count, however, in the NFL record book because it is a preseason game. It is 4 yards further than the record, which is 66 by Justin Tucker and Brandon Aubrey. Here's the interesting part. He kicked that in an outdoor stadium at sea level in Jacksonville with heavy air, lots of humidity, lots of heat, and he still had room to spare. Manuch, for a long time, Tom Dempsey held the record at 63.
You held for Tom Dempsey.
I held top for Tom Dempsey.
That's what I wanted to ask.
And you know what? At practice, he can still kick it like 65 to 66.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, he would we go 65 just to kind of wins at the back in the old Rich Stadium, and he cleared by 4 or 5 yards. Now, the only problem with Tom is he was a little bit of a military kicker, left, right, left kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Chuck Knox loved his distance. He could still, but he just, with that square toe, you know if it's going to go right or left, which eventually cost his
he
job.
only had like half a foot.
Yeah, but he could still boot it about 65, 66 yards. The thing about Cam Little right now is now all of a sudden Canales as the head coach is going, well, you know what? Now that I got that my repertoire, you got to be very careful. If you're going to try from that far out, that you have right conditions, maybe you're indoors. How has he been kicking in the pregame warm-ups? Does he feel pretty comfortable? If you're going to take that chance, you may want to take that chance early because, as I mentioned earlier, if you miss that, they get the ball, it'll come back. I think probably if it was 70, probably the 40-yard line. All of a sudden, you give that proposing team pretty good field position. So you better feel pretty good. Maybe a practice he makes maybe 3 out of 8.
He might, yeah.
Okay, so he might. Now, at the end of a game, if you got nowhere to go, kick it.
Yeah.
You know, with especially there at the end of the first half.
Absolutely.
Clock expired, so they can't get the ball if you miss it.
70-yard field goal, and unfortunately, it will not be in the NFL record books for Cam Little of Jacksonville. That is my G2G Protein Bar game changer. Connor.
So I'm going to be rolling with some more preseason action in football. And, of course, I'm going with Shadeur Sanders. I'm not going to make a big show out of it. But what I will say is when the guy completes more than half of his passes, he gets 2 touchdowns, and he adds a little bit with his legs. When everybody kind of started to doubt him out, I think that was a good showing. Like Rudy Carpenter says, it doesn't matter when you do it. It just matters if you do it. I'm going with Shadeur Sanders as my G2G game changer.
Off the play fake, Shadeur Sanders into the trap there. And it is brought in for a touchdown by Caden Davis.
Slips around, getting shoulders turned. Great spot.
Very impressed with Shadeur Sanders, to be honest with you guys. I think that this is somebody who, with all odds against him, actually showed up, looked professional out there, showed that he could evade pressure. He did take a couple sacks, but I was thoroughly impressed. It's still one game, but I like what I saw.
Are you concerned at all that there were no starters in Carolina playing?
No, there were starters playing.
Very few.
Again, you take what you can. I saw Dak Prescott in 2016 go out there and do what he could against all these backups, and eventually that leads to something. I like Rudy Carpenter said.
What does it lead to when you're a Dallas Cowboy fan? You guys haven't been to a Super Bowl since '96.
We got a starting quarterback who has been our starting quarterback for almost 10 years now.
How does that work?
That's saying something. But I think
Cardinals fans are going to be in that same book this year.
I agree. I've been saying that about Kyler. I'm not a fan. I know this is going to be his last year. But if he does turn it around, then he'll be here for another few more years.
But to bring it back to Shadeur, I do think that this was somebody, like I said, back against the wall. A lot of people wanted to see him fail. He didn't give them a reason to.
In a lot of these preseason games, they want to see how somebody handles themselves. I think you mentioned that. How he throws the ball, his escapability. Right. I think there's a lot of intangibles they look at, whether it's the first team, second, or third team. So I think, he held his own very well as far as saying he can make some throws, touch throws, line drive. There's some things he can do that they feel more comfortable with.
Manuch, you are on this show and you stated, being our quarterback guru, there was no way in hell he was a 5th-round pick.
No, not at all. There were some things that, I don't know. There's some things I think aren't being said.
In Seattle franchise history to hit 45 in a season. Griffey did it 5 times. And then you got Gino Suarez. He added a 2-run single in the first, and they held off Tampa for the rest of the way. So you see some of these former Diamondbacks that are all playing pretty well.
You knew they would.
Zach Gallimero Kelly on Wednesday is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, Naylor had a dinger yesterday as well,
Yeah,
too.
he did.
You know,
Yeah.
he did, too.
Speaking
and also,
of go ahead.
I was going to say also, because you think of him as a switch hitting catcher, he has the most home runs. You talk about tying Johnny Bench, the most home runs for a switch hitting catcher. Ted Simmons really the only other switch hitting catcher I can think of.
St. Louis Cardinals.
And Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah.
Where did he grow up?
Oh, Phil, I'm going to say Jersey.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
You guys have to go. He played for the Cardinals, played for the Brewers.
Well, we knew
All right.
that.
Hey, if you haven't tried them yet, you're missing out. This is not your average stale, off-the-shelf protein bar. What makes these bars so delicious is they're fresh with no preservatives. They're stored in the refrigerator. You can bring one to lunch. You can take to a workout on the golf course. They're a great way to get some solid protein and healthy fats into your diet. So check it out. Head to the refrigerator section at Costco or go to G2GBar.com. You got to try them. G2G bars. They're outstanding, and they've been a great partner of ours for a long time. So we hope you'll get a chance to go into Costco. And when I was there last week, they were on sale. So you'll save a couple bucks on a box. So next, it's ABC Channel 15 Sports Director Craig Fooey for Fact or Fooey. But here is Maddie with another Twin Peaks ESPN 620 update.